Let's get back to local politics. Former Labor Minister and my Sky News colleague Graham Richardson is with us. Richo, what's your assessment of today's Newspoll in the wake of the budget?
Well, I think that's about where you'd expect. I think Labor's been doing reasonably well. There are no great clouds on the horizon. So I think, it's pretty close to where you'd expect.
Always a bit of uncertainty, isn't there, in politics? One of the things that hangs over the government is what happens with interest rates and inflation right now. But, through your career, there's always something that provides a level of uncertainty for a government as it tries to plan its re-election strategy.
Yeah, well, that's one of the problems. There are a few certainties in politics, and things change so rapidly that the best politicians are the ones who can keep up with the pace of the change. And I think, we're well placed in that respect because I think Albo and Chalmers know exactly what they're doing and are going pretty well.
Yeah, indeed. That 52-48 number, if you're a year out or less than a year out, depending on how soon the Prime Minister will go to the election, if you look at previous governments, many of them have been behind midway through the first term.
Oh, yeah, this is an excellent result for the government, an excellent result, and a pretty dire warning, I think, to Peter Dutton and the Liberals. I think... And it mirrors really what you pick up as you walk around the streets. People aren't out there sort of saying, wow, isn't Albo fantastic or anything like that. And I'm not claiming that. But they're not complaining either. At no stage do you hear people these days saying, aren't things terrible? I don't think anybody in Australia really thinks that. And that's a pretty good sign for a government at this stage of the electoral cycle.
The Peter Dutton budget reply, big focus on migration, the migration numbers. It's hitting a hot button issue right now, particularly in the context of housing shortages, Richo.
Yeah, I think it was an intelligent way to go. I've never said that Dutton was a mug. He knows what he's doing, and I think he put a pretty good case the other night. So I'd say that was all good politics. But he needs to put up good cases because he is behind, and to be behind at this stage of the electoral cycle is not such a good thing for him.
It's not, but as Simon Banks said earlier, Labor and the government can't afford complacency because, as you've put it, Peter Dutton is no mug. You wouldn't want to be taking him lightly, I think, Richo, if you're the Prime Minister, which I don't believe Mr Albanese does do, or the government does do. They need to take Dutton seriously as a very experienced political operator.
Oh, yeah, look, they know that Dutton knows what he's doing. They know all about the experience. They know how he can win a seat that's got a 2% margin and everything around him's got 6% swings and he just keeps it at 1%. Everybody knows how good he is at that sort of thing. So Dutton, definitely no mug and still in the race.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point you make, that his seat of Dixon, and I've thought this a lot, Richo, that you can extrapolate from that, can't you, on his ability to hold on to that ultra-marginal seat for years, for decades. It says a bit about his own antenna.
Oh, yeah, look, I don't bag Dutton. I think Dutton's a very smart guy. And to keep winning Dixon has been remarkable. I mean, nobody does that. Swings around him 3 times what is recorded against him himself. I mean, the guy does really well. He obviously knows his electorate. He's obviously got a good ear for what people are saying and what people are thinking. And if you're in those, if you've got that going for you, then you're always going to be a danger.
Richo, thanks. See you later in the week.
Good on you, Kerry.